You don't even want to be a leader. Like, you don't want to be put in a position where you have to take this kind of responsibility as an emperor. But this is your destiny. It is being open to you. You're in the energy of receiving information. This is inspired connection to intuitive messages from this larger than life sword. So this is something that you're still getting to know, but these are essentially messages you're receiving, because you see the sword is pointing up. So this tells me that this has to do with like that's something that you're growing into, and you're given a sword that kind of like when infants are provided clothes that they have to grow into. In that same sense, you're given a sword which you will then grow into as you're still in the Page of Swords. And Page of Swords is about like this curiosity in regards to the element that they're attached to. So there's this curiosity for new information, new knowledge, mastery, intellect. This is a newfound, this is something that you're like only recently gotten into, because you can see how he's looking back. So there's this insecurity, or there's this uncertainty, but there's still this like benevolence, or like this confidence of being able to take on something that might at this point be larger than you, but you will grow into it. A messenger of communication, that in August you're going to have a fresh perspective on something, and it's about being open to hearing and sharing ideas. So in August, this is about having, for you Gemini, this is about having enthusiasm and an eagerness to learn. While this may be larger than life, this might be something that you might have to, a new intellectual role that you're being put onto, or you have the responsibility of taking on, because this is a sword that's like, it's literally going off the card. So this is something that's larger than life, but having the confidence and the strength to pick up the role that is essentially asked of you. You're taking on a role, messenger or messages, in regards to being tentative about, maybe you're receiving new information and you're tentative because you see a Page of Swords always tells me of someone that's like, they're looking back. They have one foot behind them, and the one foot is set firmly on the ground. Even if their body is facing forward, most of the body language is backwards. They're leaning backwards, but they have the confidence to pick up the big role that has been given to them, even if it may be larger than life, larger than them, a lack of experience or lack of knowledge to take this on, but they still take it on. And what you might be receiving is actually walking away from something that might not be nurturing you anymore, and moving through the water. And because you see on one side it's really wavy and there's a lot of emotional turmoil, on the other side there's peace. So it's like, to create that peace, you have to cut through that emotional tidal wave, or that wave. In order to do that, you're creating disorder, in the sense of like, you're moving away from the thing. You're still bringing your own baggage, in the sense of your own intellect, your own swords with you, moving away from something. But this could be something that it took a lot of intellectual property, or maybe that's what it is. Like, this is about moving away, or moving your intellectual property away from something else. But this definitely has to do with information, and you're moving away from something. You're receiving information which has provided you initiation. Page of Swords is tentative, and it's like you're waiting to receive that information, because the sword is like up high, where our clairvoyance or claircognizance is received. And then once that information is received, you're able to push forward and move away from the message that has provided you that clairvoyance or claircognizance to start a new life, potentially. We're getting a lot of swords for you. The back of the deck, King of Swords, the Sun. This is taking the steps of being clear on your boundaries, and knowing when you really need to step away and move away from something because it no longer aligns with your intellect. It no longer aligns with your ideals, essentially, your values in regards to your mind. And we're at the Emperor. Wow, okay. Being assertive. This is about being assertive of your values, of your kingdom. You're seeing rams, and mountains, and that's connected to the Emperor because goats and rams are able to easily get through mountains, which mountains are often associated with obstacles, challenges in our life, and the Emperor is able to resolve those through being assertive in his own values, of his own needs, knowing what is best for his empire in order to build it up. So this might be you're receiving new information in regards to something in the past, which is helping you move away into an emperor position. In order to get to a point of success, of accomplishment in this role as a leader, this is you moving away. This is you moving from Page of Swords and moving away into an emperor, a leader. This is like the ideal energy of a leader. You're being moved into a very strong leader. And this might be like you might be put in a position where you don't know the full responsibility. So there's this like tentative, there's this like curiosity almost of what comes, but then there's I wonder what's in the past with the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords, like I said, it always tells me like it has this like tentative, like they're unsure if they want to step forward into their new position. But this is telling me that your new path is of a leader. And it doesn't matter if you're unsure, and I guess that's why we received the Strength card. It's really about grappling with your own inner confidence, with your own shadow, in order to move into the Emperor energy. So really, Gemini, you're being moved into a very leadership role. You're being moved from like an apprentice or an assistant into someone where people see you as a leader, so they move you into that position. And this might be that you have to move away from, in order to create that peace, sometimes we have to move through it. Sometimes to create emotional peace for ourselves, we have to just keep moving through the water, through the emotional turmoil, and moving on. You are being moved into completion. The world can also be destiny, because with the Emperor and the world, this is about like all the different kingdoms. So like all the different kingdoms, all the different elements. And it's like a mastery of all the different elements and completing it. So I feel like there is like a mastery or almost a promotion, but in order for you to be promoted, there's like a process of you having to move away, maybe from certain beliefs that you're emotionally attached to, and moving up to mastery of all the elements. The Emperor, as you can see, he's wearing a armor, and that's because an Emperor, in order to get to the top and in order to get through the obstacles of the challenges, he had to also be able to be a page. He also had to be a soldier in order to be an emperor. That's because in order to gain trust in the people, you have to showcase like that you're an everyman. Like you were where once other people were. You had to fight the obstacles, and your duty is for the people. Even if he's on the throne, it's not showcasing like, oh, I'm higher than you, I look down on you because I'm sitting on the throne. It showcases an emperor, a true emperor, is able to show leadership because he also is willing to fight alongside his own people when there's a war. So there's an ability, like the red is showcasing assertiveness, passion, the assertiveness to, when needed, to put down the horns and create boundaries. The Emperor also shows us like self-discipline in order to get to the top. And that might be you having to move away from certain things that you were intellectually attached to. The Two of Wands is basically about manifestation because you have the world in your hand. Because we see like an almost like a promotion to the Emperor, and this could be something that you've been manifesting. You have the world in your hand, which is like perfectly makes sense with the Emperor because the Emperor does have the world in their hand. And we did see the world at the back of the deck. So this is completion, this is manifestation. You have the opportunity to just like almost like sell world domination, I'm getting, because you have the world in your hand. So it's almost the Two of Wands is like a manifestation. It's a choice. Obviously Two of Wands, your passions, but it's like him having a world in his hand. It's like spinning it and then pointing of where you want to go next. Like where's your next endeavor? Where's your next adventure? That's what the Two of Wands tells me. It's like, and he also is looking down. He's like in the safe harbor of his castle, but I feel like it's like, what are you going to dominate next? You've mastered the Emperor. You've been promoted to the Emperor. You've elevated. You expanding yourself, like your business as a leader for the people. Let's break down the Emperor with the Two of Wands. You are either a person or you, in this month, August, you need to really carefully plan, and it's a month of thought out, to think out your goals. So you could be a person who has carefully planned and thought out your goals, and now you're ready to execute them. This is because the Emperor is someone who is confident and has that self-assurance. They can make decisions towards achieving their goals, even if it involves taking some risks. This is also indicating to me, Gemini, that you are a person who might be open to partnerships or collaborations right now, which is bringing an added strength to your plans. You have leadership qualities which ensure that you are in control of the situation. And then the Two of Wands is actually signifying that you are looking towards the future and you have a clear vision of where you want to be right now. You are in control of your destiny. Now you're and so trust that you are in control of your destiny, and trust that your abilities to take on calculated risks and are achievable, and that you're able to take on your goals and be successful in them. Taking on personal growth and development goals and actually achieving them. You have that potential in August. So definitely take on the energy of the Emperor with the Two of Wands and the ability to manifest, expand potentially your business, your leadership, expand yourself onto other realms, the world. Now the Six of Swords with the Emperor. Regretful but necessary transition and rite of passage. So like I said with the Page of Swords, you might be tentative, but this is something that you potentially could be taking on, even if there's an insecurity or there's a uncertainty of where this role might take or where it's leading. August, Gemini, you are delving into a personal transformation. This is a transition away from grief, but you're still bringing in your emotional baggage with you. But even if there are memories and regrets, this is showcasing that their hope lies ahead because you're moving into a position of power, a position of assertive leadership. You're someone that doesn't see yourself as being put in a leader position, but you're taking it on because it is being open to you. You might be potentially being forced into like a destiny role because that's what you're meant for, even if you're like tentative about it. There's this insecurity, there's this like having to walk away from certain things in order to take on this role. But I feel like this is your destiny. Things might be coming together from your own like tentative nature where you're like, you don't want to come into this. Is telling me that you're in a position, or you might be a person that like you don't even want to be a leader. Like you don't want to be put in a position where you have to take this kind of responsibility as an emperor. But this is your destiny.